Hello, guys. I am your host, Ashley. Welcome back to another episode of College Dunia Student Connect, wherein we chat with international students and learn more about their experiences and journeys. Before we kick off, please subscribe to the channel and don't miss the most informative study abroad content for you. Today, we have Anmol from Hong Kong with us. Hi, Anmol. How's things with you?
Hey, everything is good, Ashley. Nice meeting you again. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Just go on.
Yes, definitely. We definitely have questions to ask for you. Before getting into the details of your study abroad journey, I think our viewers would like to know a little bit about yourself.
So, so I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science from Hong Kong Baptist University. I'm in my final year. During my studies here, I have been able to, luckily, touch wood, travel a lot because I was sponsored by the university with full scholarship to go on an exchange, on a research. So more or less within the last 4 years, if you ask me to introduce myself, I'm someone who is just studying a lot, playing hard, working hard. That's basically life for me, yes. And I come from India as well. I'm here as an international student, as you may say. So yeah, more or less that's it.
So, where in India did you come from?
Okay. So I belong from Ranchi, but my father is working for government, so we get transferred a lot. My high school completed in Varanasi, and from there I directly got into the undergraduate program in Hong Kong, and then I applied.
So, why did you choose Hong Kong? Do you think it was a good decision to study in Hong Kong?
Oh yes, I can say this in a heartbeat. It was an amazing opportunity for me to study in Hong Kong. But why did I choose Hong Kong specifically is a very good question actually, and I get asked a lot about this. The primary reason for me was because Hong Kong itself has a lot of opportunities and exposure to offer you, like any other metropolitan city. But of course, this cannot be the only reason why I came up here. Primarily, it's because of the location as well, because it's very close to India. I did not want it as an international student. Initially, when I'm in my undergraduate, I did not want it to go very away from India. I did not want it to go for Europe or US. Anyways, I'm in Europe right now. But that's another topic. The point is that Hong Kong has a lot to offer you, especially scholarship options. If you go to Europe, if you go to America, it is very difficult for you to get a full ride. So it's you might end up getting 40% scholarship in Australia, in US, but at the end of the day, you have to pay a shit tons from your pocket, and this is really painful as an undergrad to pay crores of Indian rupees to get your degree. And I mean, the university that I'm studying in is also one of the top 300 universities in the world, if I may say, top 250 now. For my department, it's even better. And I'm on a full ride, so I'm not paying a single penny from my pocket. So I think this was the primary reason that I got the chance. I was close to India. I was on a full ride, so I was like, okay, why not? So, yeah.
So, what would be the average fees for doing a bachelor's in Hong Kong, and also regarding your course, what would an average tuition fees be if an international student from India has to do a bachelor's in computer science in your university?
Yeah. So without a scholarship, it might be a bit expensive. Not very expensive as per se, but of course it depends. Let's say the good thing about Hong Kong actually is that you do not have to look for different major for different fees. It's a standard fees for all the major, even if you do BBA, even if you do computer science, or even if you do visual arts. If you do it in my university or in any other university, the fees is same. It's same for every university and every program in Hong Kong. So. And it is currently, if I'm not wrong, it's around 140,000 Hong Kong dollars, which equates to 14 lakh Indian rupees. And after that, you have to also pay the rent and the living expense, which is very expensive in Hong Kong as an expat. It's very expensive. So at the end of the day, I think more or less, if you try to save, then you will end up spending 19 lakhs per year. And if you do not save a lot and like live a good life, I don't know, as a student, then around 20 to 25 lakhs would be the cost for
This
1
would
year.
be including accommodation, everything, or just
Everything, yes.
Okay.
Usually, we as a students get a lot of opportunities because we get subsidized by our rent. We do not have to pay. Of course, Hong Kong is tax free, so we don't have to pay tax here. So anything as such is not happening. So this is the good part, actually.
Okay, I see. So, like, how do you enjoy your course, your faculty, your university? Like, how do you like it? Like, what are the things you really like about your uni and studying your course in your particular uni? And what are the things you don't really like?
Don't really like will be a very difficult question for me to answer, actually. But what do I like? I can share a lot because I have friends all over India. They are also studying, and the course curriculum is basically same, more or less. I mean, uh, I was studying data structure in second year, and I'm pretty sure that every student who has done computer science in India also studies data structure in second year. So the course curriculum is same throughout the world, and we know it. But it's more about the opportunities that this university has to offer. So, for example, every single day, if I was able to share, I would do it. Every single day, I get like 20 emails, and this is like spam, dude. So yeah, so. But the good thing is that out of these 20 emails, you always find a few emails that gives you opportunity. So for example, if you want to go for a startup, then you have some incubation programs going on. If you want to go for career, then you have a lot of career job postings through the email. And I don't know if you really want to like have a certification program, then you have emails regarding that. So more or less, it's about the opportunities in general that the university has to offer. And I mean, currently I'm doing research in KTH Royal, and this was also because I got selected as a research scholar from the university in Hong Kong and here as well. So they have some collaboration. So, these platforms that you can get, be it startup related, career related, research related, exchange related, these are the things that make it a different experience as a student.
It's very interesting, right? Like, yeah, usually unis abroad, they do support students a lot. And yeah, especially for tech, there's a lot of opportunities, like a lot of startup competitions, entrepreneurship competitions, a lot of hackathons. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So like, what motivated you to do your course abroad? Like, why did you think, okay, I want to do this computer science program right in this uni?
Yeah, so first of all, like I always wanted to have my own startup. Lucky for me, there was a friend of mine studying in Hong Kong already. So I know how the ecosystem for startups are like in Hong Kong. And we were working together on an idea when I was in my gap year. And turns out we were able to receive some initial fundings. So for me personally, this was the reason why I chose Hong Kong also, like one of the reasons, of course. And why this university in particular is because I will be a bit greedy here because this university offers you the most scholarship out of all the other universities. So we get 15,000 Hong Kong dollar per annum more, which equates to around 6 lakh Indian rupees for 4 years. And also, if you go for exchange, the scholarship options are a bit more in this university. So at the end of the day, for me, it was about finances. Also, I really did not wanted to spend any money from my pocket, and lucky me, I was not spending throughout the 4 years. Yeah. So yeah, I think this was the reason, and in general, when I got selected for this program, I went to the website and I was like. Yeah, the courses sounds really good. The outline and everything seems to be perfect. So why not? So I mean, if you ask me why, it's difficult. If you ask me why not, then this was the reason why I came here. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So like, what was your approach to your SOP or letter of recommendation, and were there any other entry requirements, like any extra programming tests or any other tests that you had to take in order to get an admission in this course?
Very good question, actually. So as an undergrad, when you are applying to come to Hong Kong, you need to have at least 2 letters of recommendation from your high school. And then of course your transcript has to be amazing. I was lucky that 4 years ago the requirements were not that high. I mean, I ended up getting 93 point something percent, and I had some international Olympiads that I won. So I was able to get into HKBU. But for now, it's difficult. So you have to have a very, very good academic background. Your SOP must be amazing. And when I say amazing, you should not follow a prototype for it. It should come from heart to heart.
Like personal. It should.
Yeah, it should be really personal, and it should show why really you want to be a part of this amazing campus, let's say. Yeah, so more or less these things, and of course you have to qualify for interview. Depends on the program. If you come for computer science, then you have to go for one interview. If you go for artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is also my specialization, but now you can choose directly in the very first year. And if you do this, then you have to go for 2 interviews. And one of them is in general, like communication, why Hong Kong, why this university, blah, blah. And the other one is a bit particular about the program. So they want to know how much knowledge you have, but it's not something that you have to like qualify for. It's not a programming test. It's just to know that, you know nothing and you want to get enrolled in this program. So it might be very difficult for you. You will end up doing some extra courses and stuff. So, it's not a very pleasant thing to do. So yeah, these are the things.
It's not a bit stressful, especially for undergrad. But yeah, like you're in a top university, so it makes sense. So like, what about the accommodation? Like, was it like tough to find accommodation, and what's the average rent like for accommodation?
The thing is that there are only a few universities in Hong Kong out of there are 6 universities in total, and only a few out of them offer you accommodation in campus. Lucky for me that my university, and this is a point to note why my university is like a bit better than the other universities here in Hong Kong, is because my university is the only university in Hong Kong that offers you guaranteed 4 years of accommodation. So you have a guaranteed accommodation throughout your graduation. And this is an amazing thing in Hong Kong, because the biggest problem in Hong Kong is to find an accommodation.
Oh, wow. So that's good, yeah.
That's great, yes.
And accommodation it's very rare. I don't think I've heard this before. So
yes, yeah, and it's very expensive. Believe me, if you live outside, then you will end up paying at least 70,000 Indian rupees per month, and that too in a studio room, so like a very small room or something. So
yeah, that is expensive.
Yeah, that is expensive. I have some friends who are paying actually living here with me. So they pay only 15 to 16,000 per annum, a Hong Kong dollar, which is around 150,000 Indian rupees. Oh. Just that much. So living outside for 2 months is equal to living 1 year in campus. Mm-hmm. So it's very cheap.
So like, what's the part-time and full-time job scenarios like in the Hong Kong, and also like where you're staying?
You're not allowed to do a job if you are in a student visa.
No part-time.
No, not paid, not unpaid, nothing. You are not allowed to do a job. You are only allowed to do an internship, and this should be less than 60 days. So I think 59 days. But of course, you can ask the immigration office if you want to work for, let's say, a gap year internship or a 6 months internship. So you should have a letter from your employer, and then you should ask the immigration office that, okay, I want to work for like 1 year. So they have some exceptions that they do, but you're not allowed to do a full-time or a part-time job. But there are some campus placements which is allowed. You're allowed to work 20 hours a week, but inside the campus. It has to be inside the campus only. If you work outside the campus, you're not allowed in Hong Kong. And in campus, usually you can be a barista. We have 2 Starbucks in the campus. We have a Pacific Coffee. So you can be a barista. You can be a library assistant. You can be a student helper. You can have like these jobs. So yeah, there are opportunities for you to get this job, but usually it's very difficult because the competition is very fierce. So, or you can be in international office. So yeah, I mean, if you're a good student, you will end up getting one.
surprising because most students I talk to, they always have something to tell about their part-time. And it's usually easy to get part-time jobs in other countries like UK or US or even Germany.
Yeah.
But this is the first time hearing that you cannot do a part-time job even though you're an international student.
It's very illegal actually. If someone is working part time and if he gets like caught, it's actually a very big deal.
Yeah. They're a bit surprising, but well, yeah, that's the truth. So, so do you know any seniors from your course, like who have graduated from your course, that are currently working anywhere? And could you tell a little bit more about where they're working, what they're doing, stuff like that?
Yeah. Like for example, because I'm also in the final semester right now, so I know a lot of us who already. I also have a job offer now, so we do get job offer in the final semesters usually, and it really depends. Like where do you want to work? Like for example, the opportunities is open to you, and of course you have to qualify to get a good job. Usually we do not have, none of the universities in Hong Kong have, even if you go to HKU, which is like top 10 university in the world, we do not have campus placements. Campus placement is not an option in Hong Kong. But off campus, you do have a lot of options. Like for example, it's not something that we usually have in India, like where the companies are coming and taking and you get a job. So this is not something that's happening, but you get many emails every single day that this company is hiring and you have to apply and we can nominate you or something like this. So there is another way, but it's more or less similar. I have a job offer from PwC, which is of course one of the big four. My friends some of my friends are working on startups. Some of them have their own startup. So at the end of the day, you always have a good job in Hong Kong, and it really, not always. If you are really bad at what you do, then you don't have one. But in general, if you do good, you will end up finding a good job. So there are many unicorn companies, for example, Klook and GoGoX. They have come from Hong Kong and they are going like abroad these days. MTR Corporation. Currently, I'm in Sweden, and to my surprise, the public transportation of whole Sweden is managed by Hong Kong. And this is crazy. Yes, when I came here, I was like, why are you guys wearing MTR? And then they say, hey, it's managed by Hong Kong. And I'm like, okay, if I have HKBU, do I get discount? So, yeah, more or less, you do have a lot of options, and it really depends. You have to explore and yeah.
I assume you must have done a lot of networking, like probably on LinkedIn. Yes. I think that's the thing with international students, like getting a job abroad, it's more about networking and putting yourself out there. So I'm pretty sure you must have done that. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to get a job rather than just applying. So applying, not putting yourself out there, it's a bit harder. But if you really put yourself out there, show your face, meet a few people in the industry, and especially in tech, there's so many opportunities. So if you're just, you don't have to be the best. Even if you're like decently good enough and you're really proactive, you can really get good jobs abroad.
That's very true. That's very true. And actually, especially in Hong Kong, networking plays an important role. So, if there is anyone who wants to connect to me and know more about it, then they can find me on LinkedIn as well. So,
perfect. That should like our viewers would learn a lot from you just by connecting with you. So, before we wrap this video up, what is one piece of advice, like you can say the best piece of advice you can give to aspirants who want to study in Hong Kong?
Study in Hong Kong, okay. While doing the application, try to be as early as possible, because we have a rolling basis consideration here, and usually it's a very kind of an insight. Generally, universities don't speak about it but since I'm sharing it with my friends in India, so why not? So it is always better for you to apply early, because then you have much more chances of getting a scholarship. And if you have a scholarship, then you don't have to worry about anything. You end up like you're just focusing on your study. You don't have to worry about finances. So one piece of advice is apply early. Apply as early as possible. The applications start in August, and I think it's the best time to apply is mid of August or September at max. After that, you are already getting late. So this is the advice that I would give. And when you are in Hong Kong, try to grab as many opportunities as you can. So always check your emails. They spam you a lot, but go through them and try to get as many opportunities as you can. And this is how you can excel, basically.
And thank you so much for sharing your insights with our viewers. So, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please comment, like, and share this video with your network. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We have a lot of content coming up for you. And if you want us to cover any university in the future, please comment down below. And yeah, till then, have fun and work hard.